Hello, welcome to this episode of Thoughts of a Whole Brain Man. Um, if you've looked at a previous Thoughts of a Whole Brain Man called The Dyslexic's Friend, you'll know about these. These are specially configured dyslexia glasses that are configured to my brain. And the reason for these is I'm going to be reading out some things and I want to make sure that I get them absolutely correct for you. Because back in, when would it be? 2011, 2012, something like that. I saw a YouTube video which was an interview between Deepak Chopra and a wonderful man who was an anaesthetist called Hameroff. And he has kind of branched into consciousness studies. And I was fascinated by their conversation. In fact, I'll put a link to that. If I can find the YouTube video, I'll put a link to it in the comments beneath this video. Okay, so you can have a look at that as well. It's so worth it. It's seriously worth it. But Stuart Hameroff put together a conference, two conferences of academics looking at various lenses of consciousness studies. And consciousness studies in academia can be a fascinating thing. So there is a book which is the collected papers from two of these conferences called Consciousness and the Universe, Quantum Physics, Evolution, Brain and Mind. And this book is a very thick, chunky book. And I find the content of this inspiring, not just inspiring in terms of, its nature, but of the thoughts that it inspires. Every single one of these papers makes me go, ooh, I want to look at that. Where does that go? What's next? So all I'm going to do is read out the table of contents. Now, that shouldn't take long, should it? Most books, table of contents is just maybe 12 items on a page. It's going to take that long to read out. This just might take a bit longer than that. I was really pleased to find that one of the contributors to this book is a man called Ernest Lawrence Rossi. And I've been teaching some of the great work of Ernest Lawrence Rossi for the last 30 years. I incorporate his psychobiology work in my neuroholistic therapy. And to find that Rossi's contributed to this book was very meaningful for me. So there are different sections. I'll tell you the section number and then read out just what it says. Okay. There's quite a few pages of the table of contents. It's not a short book, right? And I'll put some kind of Amazon link to the book in the table of contents as well, right? Just so you can look it up and perhaps find it. I would highly recommend acquiring this and spending a bit of time getting used to it because it's utterly brilliant. And just to give you a date, it's 2009. So, of course, in an academic sense, it's all out of date by now. There could be, vast amounts of change from new findings, new understandings. But as a document, it's a great launch pad for getting some ideas together. So, here we go. Part 1. Cosmology of Consciousness. Consciousness in the Universe. Neuroscience. Quantum spacetime, geometry, and OR theory. Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff. Part 2. Brain and Mind. The neuroanatomy of free will. Loss of will. Against the will. The dissipated brain and non-equilibrium thermodynamics. Conscious states are a crosstalk mechanism for only a subset of brain processes. Brain, consciousness, and causality. The split brain. Two brains, two minds. Part 3. What is consciousness? Does consciousness exist? The stream of consciousness. What does consciousness do? A mindful alternative to the mind-body problem. Consciousness, solvable and unsolvable problems. Decoding the Chalmers hard problem of consciousness. Qualia of the molecular biology of creativity and thought. Proto-phenomena and their physical correlates. The spread mind. 7 steps to situated consciousness. What consciousness does. A quantum cosmology of mind. Part 4. Consciousness and thought. The stream of thought. Origins of thought. Consciousness, language, egocentric speech, and the multiplicity of mind. Part 5. Remote consciousness. Non-locality, cognition, and cosmic structures. Detecting mass consciousness. Effects of globally shared attention and emotion. Part 6. Self-consciousness, dissociated, shared, near-death consciousness. Cosmological implications of near-death experiences. Consciousness, what is it? Consciousness, dissociation, and self-consciousness. Science and the self-referentiality of consciousness. Near-death experiences and the fifth dimensional spatio-temporal perspective. Part 7. Dreams, hallucinations, and altered states of consciousness. In the borderlands of consciousness and dreams, spirituality rising from consciousness in crisis. Altered states of consciousness is a many-splendid thing. Dreams and hallucinations, lifting the veil to multiple perceptual realities. Part 8. Origins and evolution of consciousness. Cosmological foundations of consciousness. Consciousness, a direct link to life's origins. Evolution of modern human consciousness. Evolution's gift, subjectivity and the phenomenal world. Intention and attention in consciousness dynamics and evolution. The ecological cosmology of consciousness. Part 9. Paleolithic consciousness, Neanderthals, Cro-Magnon spirituality. Evolution of Paleolithic cosmology and spiritual consciousness and the temporal and frontal lobes. Do other species experience spirituality? Prehistoric astronomers, ancient knowledge created by modern myth. Evolution or extinction of Neanderthals, a brief history. Evolution of consciousness, reflections on the discovery of mind and the implications for the materialist Darwinian paradigm. Part 10. Animal and artificial consciousness. Animals are machines. That's Descartes. On hypothesis that animals are automata and its history. The quest for animal consciousness. Consciousness and intelligence in mammals, complexity thresholds. Mirror self-recognition on Earth. Primates, convergence in intelligence and self-awareness. Can machines be murdered? Part 11. Quantum physics and consciousness. Consciousness and quantum measurement, new empirical data. Consciousness and quantum physics, a deconstruction of the topic. Logic of quantum mechanics and phenomenon of consciousness. A quantum physical effect on consciousness. The conscious observer in the quantum experiment. Does quantum mechanics require a conscious observer? Consciousness vectors. Quantum physics, advanced waves and consciousness. The macro objectification problem and conscious perceptions. Consciousness and the quantum. The quantum hologram and the nature of consciousness. Quantum reality and mind. Quantum physics and the multiplicity of mind, split brains, fragmented minds, dissociation, quantum consciousness. Part 12. Consciousness and extraterrestrials. SETI by entanglement. Evolution of consciousness in the ancient corners of the cosmos. Part 13. Consciousness and the universe. Does the universe have a cosmological memory? Does this imply cosmic consciousness? Classical anthropic Everett model. Intermediacy in a preordained multiverse. Gaia universalis. Electromagnetic basis of the universality of the characteristics of consciousness. Consciousness, the fifth influence. How consciousness becomes the physical universe. And that is just the table of contents of this rather wonderful book, a great launch pad, a brilliant launch pad for so many ideas and thoughts. Every one of those papers, of course, has a bibliography, which means you can paper trail, see where they go, see where they came from. It's 2009, so a lot of it would have been, superseded, but some of it not. But even if that's just the case, if you want to, if you're ever bored, I mean, bored, I don't know what boredom is, but if you're ever kind of twiddling thumbs, think, what shall I do with my brain? Grab hold of this. And by the time you've got through half of it, you'll be kind of looking at other things, thinking about things. It might inspire art, it might inspire song, it might inspire poems, it could inspire a whole new path in life. Yeah, what an adventure. Highly recommended. Thank you very much for your time this time. See you very soon in more episodes of Thoughts of a Whole Brain Man. Take care. Bye.